tension has risen. The automotive world is in chaos. For the very first time, Bugatti CEO Matt Rimac has responded to Matt Armstrong and FXAlexG about the Chiron rebuild, and what he said has sent shockwaves through the entire community. After countless call-outs from Matt Armstrong fans across the globe, Rimac finally broke his silence with a 10-minute video explaining exactly why Bugatti refuses to sell parts for crashed Chiron per sport. What happened next between Rimac and FXAlexG completely changes the direction of Matt's Miami rebuild, and you need to hear every word of it. Matt Rimac posted a video directly addressing Matt Armstrong's Chiron rebuild and all the controversy surrounding Bugatti's refusal to sell parts. His main claim? The rumors about Bugatti parts prices are wildly exaggerated. Those $150,000 headlights everyone keeps talking about, Rimac says they're actually $25,000 each, so $50,000 for the pair. Still astronomical by any normal standard, but nowhere near the inflated figures circulating online. Rimac looked straight into the camera and said there's just so much information out there that simply isn't true. All the prices you hear about Bugatti service and maintenance, he claims, are rumors, not reality. He gave a specific example, pointing to online stories about Bugatti headlights being $150,000 per pair, but insisting it's not the case. The actual price is $25,000 per headlight, $50,000 for the full front lighting system. Rimac went on to explain that developing headlights for a hypercar costs tens of millions of euros, and with such limited production numbers, the mathematics inevitably dictate high component costs. Every single part on a Chiron represents massive research and development investment spread across fewer than 500 cars worldwide. The economics are completely different from mass-market vehicles. But here's where Rimac got brutally specific about Matt's rebuild. He revealed that the Chiron has hidden structural damage to the monocoque underneath that isn't visible from the outside. The damage goes far deeper than what you can see in photos or videos. The gearbox housing is broken, and properly repairing a car engineered to exceed 250 miles per hour requires factory facilities that independent garages simply don't have. The precision tolerances, the alignment specifications, the structural integrity verification, all of it demands equipment and expertise that exists nowhere outside Bugatti's factory walls. Rimac's core argument centered on safety. He claims Bugatti cannot support the rebuild because components like airbags are specifically calibrated for the Chiron's unique crash dynamics, and using parts that physically fit but weren't engineered for this exact application could be genuinely dangerous. He pointed to a recent situation with another Chiron per sport and said he gets constant messages about it. Then you have people in independent garages putting airbags in the car with a leather wrap over them, thinking that will work the same as factory installation. He compared that approach to the issues Bugatti encounters even with all the resources they have as a factory, issues they will eventually solve through multiple iterations, but that a garage can never properly address. And now imagine, he asked, why don't we support this? Because it's not safe. The liability alone makes it impossible. His conclusion was pointed and deliberate. Bugatti made a fair offer to repair the car properly at their facilities, but FXAlexG chose independent repair to generate content and drive engagement. Rimac said he respects Matt Armstrong as a content creator and understands the appeal of the project, but believes supporting this rebuild isn't safe or appropriate for the brand. Bugatti's reputation is built on engineering excellence and uncompromising safety standards, and endorsing a garage rebuild would fundamentally contradict those principles. But here's what makes Matt's approach completely different from what Rimac described. Matt isn't trying to restore the Chiron to factory specifications. That would be impossible without Bugatti cooperation, and he knows it. Instead, Matt is proving that independent hypercar rebuilds are viable even when manufacturers refuse support. He's showing that the right to repair extends even to million-dollar hypercars, and that skilled builders can tackle these projects when manufacturers slam every door in their faces. Without Bugatti selling parts, Matt is forced into fabrication and creative sourcing for almost every component, turning his rebuild into something far more complex than anything he's attempted before. The front aluminum structure needs complete custom reconstruction. That iconic horseshoe grille isn't just styling, it's a structural element. and replicating to handle the loads of a 1,600 horsepower hypercar requires serious metalwork expertise. Matt can't just bolt on an aftermarket part or adapt something from another vehicle. This needs to be fabricated from scratch with materials and techniques that match or exceed Bugatti's original specifications. The cooling system presents another massive challenge. The Chiron has multiple radiators positioned throughout the front end, and these aren't generic units Matt can order from any supplier. They're shaped specifically for the Chiron's packaging constraints, designed to handle the thermal load of an 8-liter quad-turbo W16 engine, producing biblical amounts of heat. Without Bugatti selling replacements, Matt needs custom fabrication or incredibly rare used parts sourced from cars being parted out somewhere in the world. The carbon fiber body panels require specialist composite repair or complete replacement through aftermarket sources. Bugatti won't sell them, so Matt needs to find alternatives, whether that means used panels from damaged cars, custom carbon fabrication, or creative adaptations that maintain the visual appearance while using different construction methods. And those headlights, even at Rimac's corrected price of $50,000 for the pair, are completely out of budget for an independent rebuild. Matt needs aftermarket or custom solutions that Bugatti will never approve, possibly adapting lighting technology from other high-end vehicles or commissioning custom units that replicate the appearance without the Bugatti part number. This is exactly why Matt asked his community for help before the project even got revealed publicly. He needs people with Bugatti connections, former factory technicians, specialists who've worked on these cars privately, anyone with knowledge or parts access that official channels won't provide. The challenge isn't just mechanical skill. It's the intelligence network required to source impossible parts. The transmission fault codes that won't clear suggest internal damage Matt hasn't fully assessed yet. If that 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox needs rebuilding, that's another seemingly impossible sourcing challenge without Bugatti cooperation. That transmission was co-developed specifically for the Chiron and exists nowhere else in the automotive world. 21 hours after Rimac posted his explanation video, FXAlexG dropped 2 comments that completely dismantled Bugatti's entire argument. The first comment was devastatingly simple. Okay, so can you sell us headlights, please? It has nothing to do with safety. This single sentence exposes a fundamental flaw in Rimac's safety argument. If Bugatti's refusal were genuinely about safety, they would differentiate between safety-critical and non-safety-critical components. Headlights don't require splitting the car in half or specialized factory equipment. Any competent technician can install them correctly with basic tools and the proper procedure. So if safety is a real concern, Bugatti should be willing to sell non-safety critical parts like headlights, body panels, and trim pieces while refusing safety-critical components like airbags, seatbelts, and structural elements. The blanket refusal reveals this isn't actually about safety at all. It's about control. It's about maintaining the exclusivity and mystique of the brand. It's about ensuring that only Bugatti-approved repairs happen to Bugatti vehicles, regardless of who owns them or what components are involved. The comment received 4,490 likes because it immediately identified what everyone watching Rimac's video was thinking. The safety argument doesn't hold up when Bugatti refuses to sell simple components that have absolutely nothing to do with crash safety or structural integrity. FXAlexG's second comment went even harder. Can I get an allocation for the Tourbillon since it's not built with other car parts? This comment is absolutely savage in its precision. Rimac specifically mentioned in his video that the Tourbillon, Bugatti's newest hypercar, has 0 parts sharing with other vehicles. Everything is custom Bugatti engineering, unlike the Chiron, which shares some architecture with Volkswagen Group components. The Tourbillon represents pure Bugatti from the ground up, with a naturally aspirated V16 engine and completely bespoke engineering throughout. FXAlexG flipped that statement into a direct challenge. If the Tourbillon is pure Bugatti with no parts commonality, and FXAlexG has clearly demonstrated he's a serious collector willing to spend nearly $2 million buying back his own crash Chiron, why can't he get an allocation for Bugatti's newest hypercar? This exposes Bugatti's arbitrary gatekeeping at its finest. They use parts commonality as justification to refuse repair support, claiming safety concerns and engineering complexity, but they also apparently deny allocations to customers who don't comply with corporate preferences. If you challenge Bugatti publicly, if you take your crash car to an independent builder instead of accepting their terms. You get blacklisted from future purchases regardless of your financial capability or genuine enthusiasm for the brand. FXAlexG bought his Chiron Per Sport brand new from Bugatti. He's a legitimate customer who paid full price for one of only 60 examples produced worldwide. He went through the official allocation process, specified his exact preferences, and took delivery of a multi-million-dollar hypercar directly from the factory. Yet Bugatti won't support his repair, and based on this comment, apparently won't allocate him future vehicles either. The message is clear. You don't really own your Bugatti. You're a custodian of the brand's reputation. And if you step out of line, the relationship ends immediately. The comment received 2,480 likes and shows that FXAlexG isn't intimidated by corporate pressure from a hypercar manufacturer. He's calling out the hypocrisy directly and publicly, using Rimac's own words against the argument. Rimac's public response and FXAlexG's brutal comeback have completely shifted the narrative around Matt's Chiron rebuild. Initially, this was just another ambitious Matt Armstrong project. By a crashed exotic, document the rebuild proved to be done. The typical formula that's worked for Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLarens, and that Mercedes G-Wagon. Entertaining content, impressive skills, accessible approach to cars most people will never touch. But now this rebuild has become symbolic. It's not just about fixing one crashed Chiron anymore. It's about whether manufacturers can use safety as justification to block all independent repairs, even for non-safety components. It's about the right to repair applied to the highest levels of automotive engineering. It's about whether spending $2 or $3 million on a car means you actually own it, or whether the manufacturer maintains permanent control through parts monopolies and selective enforcement of brand standards. The Bugatti CEO has publicly stated why this rebuild shouldn't happen, laying out technical, safety, and brand reputation reasons. FXAlexG has made crystal clear he's not backing down despite corporate pressure, and he's poking holes in the official explanation with surgical precision. The automotive community is overwhelmingly supporting their position based on those comment likes and the broader reaction across social media. Thousands of people are watching this situation and recognizing the implications for car ownership at every level. Every part Matt successfully sources through alternative channels proves independent hypercar repair is viable. Every fabricated component that works correctly undermines Bugatti's claim that only factory resources can handle these repairs. Every creative solution that meets or exceeds the original specification demonstrates that skilled independent builders can match factory quality when given the opportunity. But every failure, every stuck point, every component that proves impossible to replicate will validate Rimac's safety concerns. If Matt can't source critical parts and the rebuild stalls indefinitely, it proves manufacturers hold all the cards. If fabricated components don't meet the precision required and systems don't function properly, it demonstrates that factory involvement isn't just gatekeeping, it's genuinely necessary. If safety systems can't be properly calibrated without manufacturer tools and data, it shows that some repairs really do require official support. What's happening with Matt's Chiron rebuild goes far beyond one car or one manufacturer. This is about the future of exotic car ownership and whether buyers actually own their vehicles or just lease them from manufacturers who maintain permanent control through parts monopolies and allocation policies. Bugatti's position that they can refuse to sell any parts for safety reasons could become the template other manufacturers adopt. If it works for Bugatti, if they successfully shut down this rebuild and maintain their parts monopoly without significant backlash, why wouldn't Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, and Pagani do exactly the same? Why wouldn't every luxury manufacturer tighten control over repairs, restrict parts availability, and force all service through official channels where they control pricing and procedures? The precedent being set here affects everyone who owns or aspires to own high-end vehicles. It determines whether independent repair shops can survive in the exotic car space. It influences whether skilled individuals can maintain and restore rare vehicles without manufacturer blessing. It shapes the entire landscape of automotive preservation and the right to repair movement. Matt's rebuild represents the counterargument to manufacturer control. Skilled independent builders can repair these cars safely without manufacturer permission if given access to parts and technical information. The expertise exists outside factory walls. The passion and dedication to do it right exists in independent shops worldwide. What's missing isn't capability, it's access. And that access is artificially restricted to maintain corporate control. The Bugatti CEO has publicly explained why they won't help, citing safety, engineering complexity, and brand protection. FXAlexG has publicly rejected that explanation and called out the logical inconsistencies. He's shown that safety arguments don't hold up when non-safety parts are also refused. He's demonstrated that brand loyalty and significant financial investment don't guarantee fair treatment when you challenge corporate decisions. He's made clear that this rebuild will continue regardless of official opposition. The rebuild continues with or without Bugatti's blessing. Parts will get sourced through alternative channels that Bugatti can't control, through specialist brokers, dismantled cars, international suppliers, and the underground network of exotic car parts that exists precisely because manufacturers create these artificial scarcities. Fabrication will happen at CV Customs instead of Bugatti facilities in Motium, proving that world-class work doesn't require a factory badge on the building. Matt will document every challenge, every setback, every creative solution, giving viewers unprecedented access to hypercar engineering and the realities of manufacturer opposition. Whether this rebuild succeeds or fails, the entire automotive world is watching. Every video gets analyzed by enthusiasts, independent shops, other manufacturers, and industry observers try and understand where this battle over repair rights will end. The outcome will influence policy, shape manufacturer strategies, and determine whether the right to repair extends to the highest levels of automotive engineering or stops somewhere below the hypercar threshold. Every update brings new developments, new challenges, new responses from the parties involved. This isn't just content anymore. It's a case study in automotive ownership rights playing out in real time with millions of witnesses. The stakes just got significantly higher the moment a CEO felt compelled to respond publicly, and they'll only increase